What's Working by Monday.com.
Joe Cheng has over 15 years of combined experience in the high-tech and automotive industries. He is head of marketing and go-to-market at MIH, that stands for Mobility and Harmony, a Foxconn consortium that is building an open electric vehicle EV platform. Hi, Joe. Thank you for not being here personally, physically, but being here with us.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for the invitation. And it's super exciting for me to be chatting with you today.
Great. I'm really excited about this. And we'll get to you in a second. We'll get to hear who you are in a second. But first, I want to start off with your employer. Foxconn is the world's largest electronics manufacturer who makes products, such as iPhone, Kindle, Sony's PlayStation, Xbox, all of Nintendo's gaming systems. What business do they have creating a platform for electric vehicles?
Yeah, exactly. And as you said, Foxconn is mostly well known for, being the manufacturer of a lot of consumer electronics that you're using. If you look at the history of smartphones and computers, phone manufacturer and the computer manufacturer, they have to do a lot of things end to end all by themselves. But if you look at the evolution of those industries right now, there's so much innovation happening. And there's like people building on top of others' work, and that allows innovation to happen, such as, for example, like Android, right? Android just generated so many exciting applications, created so many startups because it is an open platform, an open ecosystem that allows others to build on top of it. And of course, including the iOS app ecosystem, that also did the same thing. But if you look at the automotive industry, there's not a lot of that can be done because a lot of the development in the automotive industry has been in a closed door fashion. We really wanted to change that and really allow new players entering into who are wishing to build an EV, can enjoy the kind of model that we're seeing for smartphones and laptops, where they can focus on their experience, on their market, on their customer, and allow someone else to take care of manufacturing and supply chain for them.
So there's a consortium here who's been doing really successful things, manufacturing, go to market, and now they're saying, okay, there is a potential in this field to innovate, and we want to found this company MIH, yes, and put our foot in the door. And that's where you come in. You are you work for MIH. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your work, what you do there.
So this consortium was created about 2 years ago, two and a half and almost 3 years ago. And we've been really pretty successful in attracting a lot of the companies to join us. So far, we've had more than 2,600 members who has already joined MIH consortium. And out of those, there are about 150, 200 members who are really active in working with us. So at this consortium, I'm responsible for the marketing and go-to-market activities. So as the consortium is evolving over the years, so for the first 2 years of the consortium, a lot of our focus has been focused around creating awareness for the consortium, letting the world knows about this concept of working together openly in open fashion for to build the EV of the next generation. So a lot of that is happening, and we do that through a lot of marketing by having a lot of events, webinars, to really get people gather together to talk about MIH and attract them to join MIH. And now we're in the next phase of MIH, where we already have quite a bit of members who are working with us, and we know that really what's important is going into market with those partners. So we're creating projects that allows the work that we're working with the different members of the consortium, has an opportunity to go to market and realize those technologies. So now a lot of the efforts has been focusing on the go-to-market piece of the work for the consortium.
Yeah. describe a little bit about how you work with collaborators and people from like external contributors, people from many different domain and fields. I want to understand that because this is a market, not a manager's podcast, and I want to start leading you in the direction of how to work with people from such different, state of minds and so many different fields. And I want to hear a little bit about how you do it and what you do there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think this is also a very interesting job here because, as I mentioned earlier, it is with the development of electric vehicles, it is really also the convergence of two industries, two very different industries that used to not work together very often, but now they need to be working together hand in hand, right? So, which is really the automotive industry and the high tech industry, and really
very different, from the core. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like their culture is definitely different. Their pace of innovation is different, and their standards to like safety, regulatory compliance is also very different. So really, it's very challenging, but also like a rewarding experience in an effort to bring those different partners, especially from the external parties together to work on it and to strive really in this environment. So we spent a lot of time promoting, open and effective communication and coordination. Repeatedly, communicate openly with those partners, and in an effort to bring them together. I think we spend really quite a lot of time on that. So we have a lot of regular meetings with them. We force those different players to come together to be involved in the open meeting. So I think initially, definitely, there's a lot of I wouldn't say a lot, but some of the partners, who were very used to working in a closed door fashion, right? I mean, they were not very comfortable with this open way of sharing. I think openly with other partners, and especially those partners could be potentially their competitors as well. Yeah. So we really spend a lot of time doing communication, I think, either privately with those partners, showing them examples of what their benefits could be in sharing their work more openly with others, because this consortium is about really establishing standards and common interfaces for the future. So I think a lot of time is definitely, I think, spent on that. And also, another key important thing is really aligning the different partners' interests. And really for those companies, I think business opportunity is definitely like the number one thing. So the idea of creating an open platform so everyone can come in to work collaboratively, that is a very interesting idea. And many of them they love this idea, but they need to also see the business. They can understand how contributing and working in this consortium, there is a business opportunity to go to market in the future.
Yeah. So you talked about encouraging communications, open communication. Could you give me examples of how you do that? Like whether it is with partners or within the organization itself, with your employees, people in your team. What concrete tips could you give to managers listening to this regarding encouraging good communication skills?
Yeah. So maybe I can talk more about maybe for my internal teams, right? So I, for as much as possible, information that I receive from our CEO, I would really be transparent to our team, to the extent, that is so suitable for the team, of course. And I will also really encourage our teams to really speak up during the meetings, and any information that I receive, I will share with my team on the background and the rationale, because that is super important. Because I often don't want my team to hear information and perceive that as an instruction from your manager, right? Because really understand the rationale behind that, and really having them also be on the same page and follow, and having that same thinking process. And I think that is super critical, and that also allows them to have the motivation, to be on the same page with you guys, and also talk about, like the vision behind, for example, some information or some request, and having the same common goal. So then, the team altogether can be on the same page and work towards that, instead of, if they're not clear about the background and the rationale, right? So it's going to be very difficult for them. They will sometimes treat it as, oh, it's just an instruction, which I do not believe in, right? So yes, they would do the work, of course, but they wouldn't put 100% or even 120% to it. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big statement. Like coming from a manager saying, I don't believe or I don't support strong, firm instructions. I'd rather they understand the need. How do you? That's really good when to motivate employees to work in that way. How do you do it? Give me an example of something that you do like that, where you don't want to come off as being instructive too much.
Yeah. So definitely, I think the first thing is I need to lead by example. So actually, when I hear information or instruction from my manager, from CEO, right? So if that is something that I wasn't clear about, or I didn't get the rationale behind it, I would actually clarify and ask about, what is your thinking process behind it? So when I tell my team about it, I can explain it better. So I want to make sure that I wasn't interpreting this in the wrong way. So when I pass down the information, it will be interpreted even in a completely different way, right? So first of all, I definitely do the clarification on my end to make sure that I'm aligned with the CEO. Then once I have an understanding of that and I understand it, then I will be able to explain it to my team. I mean, even though sometimes a lot of those could potentially be really like an instruction, but I would rationalize it and explain to my team about why this is important to the CEO, because this is for this specific purpose that we need to make this deal or hit this milestone because of this and that. So then this is explaining to them that this is and means to a greater end, right? So I think once the team understands that, it'll be a lot easier for them to support this job, to do it in a way that perhaps even in a better way. Because sometimes I would even ask the team, hey, if you think this totally don't make sense, if you have better ideas, let me know. We can discuss it as a team. If we have better ideas, I'll go back to the CEO and propose something different, right? I mean, because that is also what the CEO is looking at, is if our team can actually propose something that is even better than what he has in mind.
Wow, that is brilliant. It's a really great philosophy, and I'm just wondering, hearing this, whether does it ever happen to you when you come across a situation where you're like, okay, I tried to make them understand, I tried to push, I motivated, but they just didn't do what I wanted. So do I instruct? Do you ever come to the point where you're like, okay, well, I just got to be authoritative?
Yes, there are definitely sometimes I need to do that as well. But when I need to do that, I would be doing it with the team as well, right? So we're in this together, right? So I'm not just passing it on to someone else, right? So if we need to work for extra hours like tonight for something that needs to be done, I would say late with the team. I wouldn't want to go home at 5 p.m., 6 p.m. and leave my team in the office until like 10 or 11, right? I mean, if we have to do this, I will be there with them, right? So that I think really leading by example, and then really seeing your manager there with you, working hands on as well. I think that that really helps. And and that's really something that I stick to whenever necessary. I will stay behind together with the team. I'm willing to charge forward together with the team.
I love that. That's great. A really good philosophy. I really believe in that too. I want to ask you, take you back to something you said earlier when we were talking about communications. You said that sometimes people don't like to speak out or say, like, participate in meetings and things like that. How would you encourage people like that? Because some of us are introverts, and some of us take their time. How would you encourage people to share their different perspectives or their ideas and thoughts in a challenging environment? Should it appear?
Yeah, exactly. So I think definitely first of all, I think be aware of cultural differences of people from different countries, right? So definitely, I think myself being in Asia, I think a lot of in Asia, a lot of the people are more introvert or more quiet during meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So in that time, so I would definitely, and also a lot of times is the more vocal ones will just continue to speak all the time, right? And then that leaves the introvert, not having an opportunity to speak at all, right? So if needed, a lot of time I would have myself speak last. So then, because I want to hear what my team is really thinking and hear their opinions. I mean, even though I may already have my thoughts, but I would definitely be open minded, listen to other opinions and really speaking last. Because what I want to avoid is a lot of time when your boss or your manager speaks something at the beginning of the meeting, and if that point of view is different from yours, and you know that, right? But you know that your boss has a different view already, then you wouldn't speak up at all, right? So that's why I always want to speak last and allow really going around the table, right? And yeah, if someone hasn't spoken for a long time, I will say, hey, you've been listening for quite a bit of time, right? I mean, yeah, I would really love to hear your thoughts and really giving them time and room to speak. And if the more vocal ones would like to sometimes they would be too excited about their ideas and just speak out and interrupt the introverted one, right? So I would make sure that doesn't happen and give enough time and room for that quieter ones to finish speaking and then move on to the next and going back to the person that really wanted to speak.
Joe, that's such a challenge. We're sitting here talking, right? You're talking about your actual work, and you're a manager. You have OKRs and KPIs, and you have to reach certain goals, and that's what you're doing every day when you get up in the morning. And then you're sitting there in the meeting, and it's like another level. It's a meta kind of thing where you have to look at everything from a different perspective and say, wait, I gotta manage this meeting now so this guy won't feel left out and they will be encouraged and motivated. And plus I have this ROI thing. How do you manage with it? It's such a challenge. This daily struggle of being a manager is going from in to out, macro, micro, everything is how do you do? I don't know even what I'm asking. I just feel like it's such a big challenge. How do you manage it? How do you manage yourself in this whole mess?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think that is what every manager is really experiencing, right? They need to really balance, between their OKRs and then really the development of their teams. And I really believe that the teams OKR and KPIs, it needs to be a collaborative work from the team, and I really think that that my team is only as good as the weakest link. So so a lot of time is spent on really mentoring and helping my team develop and grow into the better version of themselves, and to really motivate them so then they can work and perform 100% or even 120%, right? So I really don't believe that my job is to push them really hard from behind, so then they reach the goal. I think I'm there to really motivate them and help them, either personally or from the work perspective. Is so what I do is that, I really spend quite a lot of time to make sure that I have one-on-ones with my team members, and really that one-on-one is not a review session for their work. We're doing definitely, I think, weekly team meetings, and there's a lot of review session of their work is happening elsewhere. So I spare like 30 minutes or an hour of time with my team at least once a month to make sure that it is an opportunity for them to share anything about me, about the team, about the company, or even about their career inspiration or the development that they would love to get from this job, so that to make sure that they love what they're doing from day to day. And if what they're doing right now isn't really aligning with the angle that they're trying to achieve, then I will be also there trying to help them if there are any opportunities internally, or if there anything that I can change within my power to help them be more aligned with their career aspiration. Because I really believe that they need to be motivated from internally, so then they can give 120% into their job.
So they do that. They give 120%, and they are developed. They are empowered, and they are starting to pursue and develop their careers. And then one day your competitor snatches them, and they're no longer with you. How do you deal with such a crisis? I want to ask.
Yeah. So I mean, yes. I mean that would be very sad to see. I mean, I think my team member leave for another company, but I think at the same time, I will also definitely be happy for them, because I think they must have found something that that can even provide them something that's better, that they believe that this company wasn't giving them enough of the platform or an opportunity on. So I think it's also an opportunity to have some reflections from myself and the team and the company on, is there any reason that we are not able to keep this team member, right? So then they need to actually pursue an opportunity elsewhere, and that is also something that I would love to kind of get a sense of during my regular one-on-ones with them. So that's why I talked about, I oftentimes in those sessions, I would ask them about their career aspiration, and if this is something that is what you wanted to do. One of the purpose is to trying to detect that earlier, so then we are able to change the course or adjust as early as possible, so we can keep talents as much as possible.
And you do that? Are you flexible enough and dynamic within the company MIH to help people, to support them should they find themselves in a place where they don't want to be or change their position? Is there a willingness on your end to help in that way?
Yeah, exactly. So I think within my team, the marketing and go-to-market, if there are opportunities and roles that they would like to try within the same function, I would totally be okay with that, because that would be within my power to make changes. Or if they wanted to try something within the same company, but at a different team or function, I will also love to help them do that. And really, I think MIH, we are working in like a startup fashion. So, there's just so much for us to do. And so there's definitely, I think, enough opportunities and different things for the team members to try if they wish to pursue something within the consortium. And really, I think our CEO is also very supportive of that.
Wow, that is great, and it's such a humane approach. I think we see that more and more within not only tech companies, but wherever progressed organizations who say, I care about the employee. and I want to give them, support them, and develop them. And I think it's extremely important. I remember one time in my past company, an employee, one of my team members, who I adored and worked with me for years, stepped into my office one day and told me that he's quitting. And I remember the genuine feeling, the visceral feeling. I looked at him and I said, yeah, I'm really, like you said, I'm happy for you. You developed yourself here. You can move on to develop yourself in new places now, even if this company doesn't allow this to you. But you know what? All that talk, all that humane approach, and those thinking that kind of warm my hearts as we talk here, are being loomed. Something is looming across across the corner, I think, and that's AI. Right? Everyone's talking about AI right now. And a major part of what you do is understanding people and working with people, motivate people. Soon we won't have to motivate people. We'll have to type into the computer and ask them to do everything for us. What does the future look like? What do you think? It's a big question, I know, but it's such a hot topic right now, AI. Yeah. And how does that deal with your work and what aligns with what you do on a daily basis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely, I think especially for the marketing team and organization, I think AI is definitely a great help to really boost the efficiencies and the output of the team. As you know, I think a lot of people have experienced ChatGPT, right? I mean, the power of how ChatGPT can really assist us in generating ideas and really fast track a lot of our thinking. So I think I believe that, you know, AI is there to assist the humans to do their job easier and faster. I don't believe that it is there to replace the humans, at least not at this moment.
Not right now.
Yeah. So, and really, I think since the introduction of ChatGPT, I think our team has also been, paying really close attention to it, and really, I think AI tool, it has become an integral part of our jobs already, right? So a lot of things that we produce, or a lot of the ideas that we talk about within our team, a lot of the time we'll say, hey, why don't we ask ChatGPT for his ideas as well, right? Because that really, for us, that is like really having an additional consultant on our team that we can talk to. And, so a lot of times our team actually love to bounce ideas with ChatGPT. And it really, after the introduction of ChatGPT, I see that the results of my team has improved as well. Because a lot of time we'll say, hey, why don't we chat with ChatGPT first to really have at least in person, artificial person to bounce your ideas around, right? So our team has tested that, I think, for a month, and really, I think it really has help us to have a better output and has better quality. So, but one thing that I'm really telling the team is that we cannot take whatever that's generated from ChatGPT as is or for granted. We need where ultimately we are the final reviewer and the quality gate, right?
Yeah. You are the regulator. You are the person still right now. You're at the helm still.
Yes, exactly.
We are making the shots. I got to share a little secret. The other day, I had to give a little lecture here within the company to people who are not involved in marketing and tell them a little bit about what we do in the marketing. So when I started putting the presentation together, I went to ChatGPT and I typed in, "What is marketing?" Just to get back, go back to my roots. You see things, some of them you need to correct, and some of them you need to decide what you pick and choose. But it's like you're saying, it's a good tool. We'll see where this will take us. It's really interesting. Yeah. I'd like to ask you, like, as we're getting close to the end, I know not all managers are coming necessarily from MBAs and big executive positions, but say you had to give an advice to somebody recently graduated from an MBA school and wants to become a manager and start their career path. What would be one tip that you could supply to a person like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So maybe I can share a little bit about my experience. Yeah. So
Perfect.
definitely for me, I started out as a lot of other people, I started out as an individual contributor. But I think what led me to become a better manager is that during the years, even though I've been a individual contributor, but I'm working on a program manager role where you have the responsibility to manage the project, which of course, the people aspect is super important there, but you don't have the authority to actually give top-down instruction to an engineer, for example, right? So I think through project management or program management positions, it really helps you to make sure that you're able to reason and make requests and provide rationale behind that, so that the engineers on your team who are not reporting to you can actually be on the same page with you and willing to support your project, right? So I think a lot of what I talked about was really the training from what I've had with project and program management roles, where I have the responsibilities for the project, but I don't have the authorities over the people that I work with. So I think through that experience, I think really picked up and learned a lot on what I just shared about, really trying to work with the team, motivating the team, make sure that people are on the same page with you, right? Because you really cannot just force people to do whatever you want, especially when you don't even have authority over them, right? So my habit kind of picked up during my experience with those roles, and then that kind of helped me to become a manager of who I am today.
Amazing. So you became a manager by starting off as managing with no authority, non-authoritative management, which helps you actually push it forward even more and become better. I love that tip.
Exactly.
Joe Cheng, I had a really great time chatting with you. It was super interesting, and we got so many great tips for our listeners. I hope to see you next time here in Tel Aviv, in person, live here in our studio. Maybe next time.
Yeah, I would love that as well.
Thank you for your time, Joe.
Great. Thanks so much. Thanks very much for your time.
I'm Edin Katz, and thank you for listening to What's Working, Monday.com's podcast on what being a good manager is all about. Follow us on your favorite podcast platforms and tune in to our next episode coming out soon. Thank you.